So we talked about time management like as a concept. Let's go into some of the tools that we might use in order to be more effective with your time. Personally, I have a few tools that I love. My sort of hub is the Google Workspace. So
Yeah,
I have my Google Calendar that I have up all the time on
yeah,
my computer, on my desktop, that I'm constantly checking. I'm constantly revising that. I'm able to, if my time includes a calendar with another individual, I email them that time like, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Um, but I also use a project management called Asana, which
oh, I
I
know you're an Asana evangelist out here.
it is a game changer. In fact, I'm meeting with one of their representatives in a couple of weeks to see how I can better
They
utilize.
didn't sponsor the pod.
They
Okay,
didn't.
they just getting free love. All right, but hey, when we go up to the next level, ain't gonna be no more free love now, Asana. Take all you can get right now.
And also, and I work in an agency, so I actually have team members, and I'll talk a little bit about how I'm able to utilize my team in order to be even more productive. We use Slack in terms of the way we communicate to each other, so we're able to put different projects into different channels, streamline it, because I know things can get buried in email, in WhatsApp, and all of these other things. So using something like Slack, and a lot of these tools, they're not very expensive, but they're very effective in terms of helping you to stay on track with what it is that you're doing. So those are some things that I would definitely suggest if you're going into business to look into, to sort of help you in terms of managing your time. Do you have any tools you think you
Well,
could
the
suggest?
main tool I use is Google Calendar. I use it both for, well, it syncs to my wife's phone, so she knows what is on my schedule, and she could drop stuff in my schedule if she needs to. Like, hey man, I noticed you had this opening right here. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I need you to do X, Y, and Z, which she rarely does, but she has the ability to do that. The same thing with contractors. Contractors, we have dates to start and complete portions of the project. All that is on Google Calendar. I put everything in my Google Calendar, and the construction manager or the project manager, they have other tools that they use. I don't I don't fool with that because I'm trying not to micromanage. I
Yeah.
just go in and say, okay, are we on task to finish the task that we were assigned to finish in this time? And once it's finished, we walk it to make sure it's up to standard. So when I call for there's something called draws when you're doing rehab, where you'll do the work, you'll pay to do the work, and then you'll call for the lender to come and inspect the work, and then they'll pay you back for the money that you paid to do the work. So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's how I coordinate the things that go on in my business. Also with my agents in the agency, they could request a meeting on Google Calendar through Workspace because they have their own emails, company emails, all that stuff, which
Yeah.
is really convenient, really affordable. I think it's like $40 or $50. It's less than $100 a year for them to have professional emails and to be in a ecosystem that is designed for us and we could control it.
I think when it comes to tools, again, they don't have to be sexy. Like, you don't have to have 10,000 tools to manage your
No,
stuff. If you just have a Google Calendar, which is through Google Workspace. So I'm not talking about I love dragons at gmail.com. Like, you need a professional Google account, which is pretty inexpensive, but you get a lot of tools. You're able to have Google Docs, Google Sheets. You can have Google Tasks. There's so many
yeah.
different tools that you're able to use just with that.
And you
That
could meet
will,
on Google Meets. Like everything you need is in there.
and two, if you're doing business and I see somebody with a Gmail account that I'm doing business with, it just looks, I'm just kind of like, yeah. Just take it from us. Like, that's not a great representation for yourself. Like, if you're gonna invest in anything, no one's saying get all these fancy tools unless and again, it really depends upon your industry. Every industry
Right.
has their own
Norms.
specific things that they use. So whatever works for you. But the main thing is don't be trapped by these tools. They're meant to serve you, not be a prison for you. Right. So you don't have to get a whole bunch of fancy stuff. Just whatever is going to help you stay on track. That's what you need. So,
And budget your expenses. Like if you're gonna get a new thing, make sure you could afford that thing for a year.
mhm.
Like don't just grab it and 2 months later drop it. Like that's not, especially if you have a team like that that's not cool. Like
Yeah.
give everything at least 3 to 6 months of trial and see how to implement it. And then you could make a decision, no, this is not the right space for us. This is not the right tool for us. Let's look for something else. But to try to figure it out in the 30-day trial, I ain't recommending that.